Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on mysterious and weird, true stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 584, written by ScoobyDoobyfuckinDoo. This stick of butter is crushing my mind. I apologize in advance if this comes across as rambling. I'm just at my wit's end and I don't know what to do. It started a few months ago. I would put something down and walk away and come back a few moments later and it wouldn't be there. It would either be in a completely different place or just seemingly cease to exist. I chalked it up to being sleep deprived. My partner and I both worked nights and absent-mindedly doing things or misremembering in general. Then it got weirder. I was getting ready for a date night and wanted to take a shower, but couldn't find my shaving cream anywhere. My shaving cream bottle is all white with a purple cap. I own nothing that looks similar to it in any way, and neither does my partner. He helped me search our small bathroom for over an hour trying to find it. Pulling everything out of the linen closet in the bathroom, checking every drawer and even the cabinet under the sink. We could not find it anywhere. After putting everything away and returning the counter around the sink to normal, I was confused but thought maybe I'd run out and forgotten I had used the last of it. My partner leaves the bathroom, closing the door behind him as I hop in the shower. After 20 minutes, I finish up and get out, only to find the shaving cream is sitting in the middle of our pink sink. I called for my partner and he was just as confused as I was. We argued for a few minutes because I thought he was messing with me, but he was insistent he hadn't snuck back in during my shower to place it in the sink and was genuinely upset I thought he would mess with me like that. I apologized and we moved on from it, but it still bothered me when I would think about it. Fast forward a month and on Saturday, he heads to work like normal. I start to get hungry and decide to make French toast. I get everything set up and ready, pulling out a plate and putting my slices of bread on it before whipping together the eggs and milk, getting my pan and spatula ready. I pull the butter out of the fridge and place it on the counter next to the plate. Right before I turned the stove on, I felt nature's call and headed to the bathroom to pee really quick before continuing. Our dog follows me and is hanging out while I do my thing, and no more than 2 minutes later I'm back in the kitchen turning the stove on. I turn to grab the butter off the counter, and it's just gone. Not there. I tried not to jump to conclusions. I had checked the fridge 7 times. I checked the cabinets I had gone in to grab out what I needed to make the French toast. I even checked the trash can to see if I had accidentally tossed it out when I got rid of the eggshells. No sign of the missing butter. The cat has never stolen anything off the counter before, but I figured it was more of a rational explanation than the butter ceasing to exist. I went to see if she had smuggled it off and found her asleep in the couch, butter-free. I know the dog couldn't have taken it because she was with me the entire time I was out of the kitchen. I freaked out a bit, started messaging my friends in our group chat about what was going on, and one of them FaceTimed me to help me recheck everywhere in case I just wasn't seeing it. I ended up having a panic attack after 30 minutes of searching over this call with no sign of the butter. We retraced every step I had taken and even looked in the bathroom to see if I had brought it with me to pee. I cleaned up everything I had taken out and refused to go back in the kitchen out of fear of the butter reappearing somewhere I had already searched that my friend confirmed was butterless. It's been days now and I still haven't found the butter or even a wrapper to prove it existed. I tried to talk to my partner about it and he thought maybe it was carbon monoxide poisoning, but we checked our detector and it's working normally. So it doesn't appear to be that. I feel like I'm going crazy. Case notes, file number 584. Right, so disappearing object phenomena is a common occurrence, but this strikes me as much more than just an object disappearing here and there. It could be related, but if it is, it would be evidence that DOP isn't a force of nature, but an active and willed effect from other sentient entities in their own pocket dimension, taking stuff from us and sometimes returning it. It reminds me of the Schisms episode of TNG, where Riker is being abducted by aliens who inhabit another dimensional space, literally taking him and others from the ship at night, from their bedrooms. In your case, or in the case of all disappearing object phenomena, it's taking things, not people. Well, mostly not. Sometimes even people do disappear and come back. Though in those cases, the people don't report or remember anything odd happening, just a time loss event. Perhaps these entities are trying to study foreign objects, trying to determine how we live. Instead of mostly taking us against our will or knowledge, they take things to try and piece together what we're like. Either that or it's some type of poltergeist trying to torment your mind through disappearing butter. And if so, it seems to be working. Case file number 585, written by Godless Frey 11. This man knew everything about us. My partner and I are visiting Oakland, California. It's our first day in town. We're walking around, window shopping and checking out the area when a random man approaches us. "Hey, how's your visit going?" We assumed he was a homeless man just being kind, and with us being from the Midwest, it's probably not hard to tell we're not from the area. We respond with the generic, "Our day's been fine, thanks. And yours?" I can't remember the exact words said, but after answering, he stated that he met us yesterday. We laughed and said that wasn't possible. It's our first day in town. You must have confused us with someone else. He responded, "No, it was you too. You guys gave me an orange and we chatted for a few minutes." That definitely sounds like something we might do. But seriously, we only got into town today. It definitely wasn't us. The man then proceeded to tell my partner, "You're from Missouri. You were wearing a blue Kansas City shirt." He said a couple other things, but I was in shock, so I don't remember what he said after that. Anyways, this was accurate information. He has that exact shirt. He wasn't wearing it that day, but it was one that we wore all the time. We still, to this day, have no idea what that was. It makes my head hurt thinking about it. Bonus file, written by MegaZXretro. The most haunted house in all of England. I was born and grew up in a town called Shrewsbury in Shropshire, England. The town has a reputation of being one of the most haunted places in the world. The town is well over 1,000 years old. A lot of the ruins of old buildings remain, even in the town center. Everyone I know growing up had some sort of experience, haunted or otherwise, at some point in their lives. So getting to my most haunted experience that spans a number of years, these aren't my only experiences, but this is the one that has affected me the most. My grandparents have a house that all of the family, my mother and her siblings, grew up in. This house has a back bedroom that gives off a vibe that you just don't want to mess with. It's the only room in the house that has the doors always closed and is now used as a storeroom that my nan refuses to enter alone. It was used when I was a kid as a spare bedroom for when me and my brother would stay over, but we hated being in that room. One night, me and my brother were asleep in there, and I woke up just in time to look over and see the lighting fixture on the ceiling next to my head. I can even remember the feeling of the cold plaster touching my cheek right before whatever the hell was there that was lifting me let me go. I hit the mattress and immediately started screaming, obviously, and my dad burst into the room to find out what happened. I told him everything, and obviously he was skeptical, but I even remember him saying that the room was very cold even though the heating was on, and there was an odd feeling he couldn't explain. My brother, who was asleep during my incident, said he had a dream that night of an old man standing over him shouting for him to get out, and to this day he is reluctant to talk about it because of how real it felt. Now this is where it starts to get worse. I was told this was over a month after the first incident, but I was at home, in my house, on the other side of the town, and it happened again. Me and my brother at this time used bunk beds, and I slept on the top bunk. My dad was downstairs watching TV, and all of a sudden he said he got a feeling something was wrong. Then realizing that the feeling he felt was the same as when I had the incident at my nan's. He ran upstairs and burst into the room just in time to catch me falling from the ceiling. I had been picked up, lifted over the bed's safety rail, and was hanging with my head tilted towards the ground, and my dad burst in to see me hanging there in midair for a split second before dropping, and he caught me. He was terrified and could never explain what happened. Nothing ever happened again until I was in my mid-20s. My nan was heading out somewhere for an overnight stay, so I said I would stay the night, feed the dogs, and sleep on the sofa. I did everything stated, went to sleep on the sofa, but woke up in the morning in the spare room? At the back of the room behind a load of storage boxes. It took me about 5 minutes of moving the boxes out of the way to reach the door, to get out. And to this day, now 14 years later, I have no idea how the hell I got in that room, over those boxes, and to the back section of the room, without damaging anything. I have never been more frightened after waking up in all my life, and I have never stayed another night in that house since. My nan refuses to talk about that room. My granddad was the same prior to his death. I have no idea what happened in that house, what spirit or worse is living in that back room. But I'll never go back in that room for as long as I live.